أهلا بيكم أعزائي الطلبة والطالبات في بريب 2 ومع حلقة جديدة من الساينس تحت رعاية وإشراف وزارة التربية والتعليم. We are still in Unit 1. Today, inshallah, we are going to start Lesson 4. As you see, from the very beginning, we talked about many elements and how do the scientists arrange these elements in a table. And then we started a little bit to know something about the properties of these elements. And finally, in Lesson 3, we talked about main groups in the table. اتكلمنا عن الأقلاعي metals واتكلمنا عن الهالوجين وخدنا شوية properties و chemical reactions ليهم. النهاردة إن شاء الله we are going to start Lesson 4. Lesson 4 is talking about a very, very important and famous compound in your life. In fact, we can't live without it. يا ترى إيه هو الكومباوند المهم ده؟ وإزاي إن إحنا ما نقدرش نعيش من غيره وإزاي إن الأرث كلها بتعتمد عليه. يلا نبتدي الحلقة بتاعتنا النهاردة ونشوف الكومباوند الغريب ده اللي هو كلنا بنعتمد عليه وفي نفس الوقت يعتبر بالنسبة لنا application على what we have studied before. يلا. يا ترى ايه هو الكومباوند اللي احنا عايزين نتكلم عنه النهارده وليه ده بندرسه في نهاية يونت 1؟ زي ما انتوا عارفين احنا كنا من البداية بنتكلم عن الاليمنتس في المودرن بيريودك تيبل. لما عرفنا الارينجمنت بتاعهم درسنا شوية حاجة عن الجراديويشن اوف elements، فهمنا شوية عن البروبرتيز بتاعتهم. بعد كده ابتدينا نتكلم عن بعض الصفات، لو تفتكروا حاجة زي الالكترونيجاتيفيتي، حاجة زي السايز اوف ذا اتوم. الحاجات دي احنا درسناها عشان نقدر نوصل النهارده for lesson 4 نتكلم عن الكومباوند ده as application. اتكلمنا كمان عن بعض الاليمنتس وعرفنا ان كان فيهم elements كانوا solids وفي elements تانية كانت liquid وفي elements تانية كانت gases. طب يا ترى الكومباوند بتاعنا ده consist of elements of course، لكن الاليمنتس دي يا ترى ايه؟ solids ولا liquids ولا gases وعملت لنا الكومباوند ده. يلا كده نبتدي ونشوف احنا عاوزين نتكلم عن مين. احنا عايزين نتكلم في lesson 4 عن الووتر. الووتر is a common liquid in our life. We can't live without it. الأرث كلها we can't live without it. لو افترضنا كده تخيلا ان الووتر disappears، يعني اعتقد ان كلنا هنبقى يعني will die في النهاية. هنتكلم عن ايه exactly in water. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify the kind of bond in water molecule or between water molecules, identify some physical and chemical properties of water, and finally, we are going to explain some abnormal behavior of water. Why the water is considered a little bit, it has abnormal behavior. Why we think about it like this. يبقى احنا هنتكلم عن 3 main points: الimportance بتاعت الwater in our life, the structure of the water, and finally some properties of water. Of course, we can't live without water. We all in our daily life depend on water in many fields. Like what? Like as you see in agriculture, in industry, and in some personal purposes. تعالوا كده هاتوا يعني a paper and a pen and then try to think about one more or 2 more usage of water. يا ترى تفكروا في ايه تاني في الووتر؟ بنعمل بيها ايه؟ غير الagriculture والاندستري والpersonal fields، بنعمل ايه تاني ممكن بالووتر؟ تعالوا نشوف الفيديو ده ونشوف كده الفيديو ده جواه شوية أسئلة. يا ترى احنا ممكن نفكر في إجابات الأسئلة دي ازاي؟ يلا نتفرج مع بعض.
Every day, you use water to wash things, including yourself. You drink water, and someone in your family uses water to cook food. You decide. Where do you get water in your home? That's right, you get fresh, clean water from the faucet. Very convenient. The water we drink and wash with is called fresh water. Fresh water has little taste and it's the kind of water we can drink. Have you ever thought about where you can find fresh water? There are many places that you can find fresh water. Lakes are big areas of fresh water. Ponds are smaller bodies of fresh water. Rivers are large moving bodies of fresh water. Streams, creeks, and brooks are smaller collections of moving water. Believe it or not, the ground beneath us also holds huge amounts of fresh water. People often pump water from the ground to use. Nearly 3/4 of planet Earth is covered with water. Most of this water is found in oceans, but the water in oceans is not fresh water. It's salt water. Salt water tastes salty, and humans can't drink it.
Okay, dear students, what did you understand from this video? What are the sources of water? Where can we get water from? بنقدر نجيب الووتر منين؟ وإيه هي السورسز بتاعتها؟ As it was mentioned in the video, as you see, in the water, we can find it in rivers, in lakes. Here in Egypt, we have Nile River for fresh water. Fresh water is the water that we can drink. But in other areas like oceans or seas, we can find also water, but this water is not suitable for drinking because it's a salty water. طيب, in our home, from where can you get water? السؤال ده كان الفيديو بيسألكوا عليه. في البيت بنجيب الووتر منين؟ طبعا من الفاصل. البيت بنفتح الحنفية بنلاقي ووتر. thanks God يعني. الووتر اللي احنا ما نقدرش نستغنى عنها دي، يا ترى الستراكشر بتاعها is what? A structure of water. Water, as you know, it consists of H2O. It's 2 hydrogen atoms combined with 1 oxygen atom. So, water structure is formed of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom to form 2 single covalent bonds. The angle between them is 104.5. What do you mean by this? تعالوا نشوف احنا نقصد ايه بالكلام ده. As you see here, we have the water. It consists of oxygen, 1 oxygen atom. This is the oxygen. And we have 2 hydrogen atoms. As you studied before in Prep 1, the hydrogen will oxygen join together by single covalent bond. So, in water molecule, we have 1 single covalent bond between this hydrogen and this oxygen, and another single covalent bond between the other hydrogen atom and the oxygen. So in total, we have 2 single covalent bonds in water molecule. Oxygen combined by 1 single covalent bond from one of the hydrogens and to the other hydrogen. يبقى أنا عندي 2 single covalent bond في الووتر molecule. ولما درسنا كنا لو تفتكروا في lesson 2 لما اتكلمنا عن ال graduation of elements in the modern periodic table وخدنا ال property اللي كان اسمها electronegativity. If you remember, which has more electronegativity, oxygen or hydrogen? Good. أنا سمعت حد بيقول لي oxygen. Yes, oxygen has more electronegativity than hydrogen, so it has the ability to attract the electrons of the bond toward it. So oxygen will have slightly negative charge, while hydrogen in the other side will have slightly positive charge. So we have a molecule, a compound that has a part is negative and the part or the other part is positive. Type, as we have hydrogen positive in its charge, slightly positive in its charge, and the other hydrogen is also slightly positive in its charge. So the 2 positive charges repel each other. Repel يعني يبعدوا عن بعض. يحصل بينهم انهم يعني can't attract each other. Repel. Get a little bit far away from each other. So This making this shape, as you see, oxygen in the middle, while hydrogen, the two hydrogen atoms are farther away from each other. بعاد عن بعض شوية. And this is making an angle between them equals 104.5. عشان كده احنا قلنا في ال definition بتاعنا في ال structure بتاعها it has two single covalent bonds, but between the two bonds we have angle equals 104.5. What do we have else? As we mentioned, the oxygen has more electronegativity than hydrogen, so water is a polar compound. نلاحظ ان المرة دي احنا يعني بناخد application على what we have studied. احنا مش بنقول كلام جديد قد ما هو كلام already احنا درسناه. As you see in this photo, we have the oxygen. It looks negative in a charge. In this moment it's negative because it has more ability to attract hydrogen electrons towards it. فعشان كده بيبني ان الاكسجين a little bit negative in a charge, while the hydrogen is positive. Both hydrogen atoms are positive in a charge. فعشان كده قلنا زمان ان water is a polar compound because the electronegativity difference between these elements, oxygen and hydrogen, are relatively high. عشان كده هو polar compound. So between molecules of water there are one molecule of water في عندنا covalent bond, لكن في bond جديدة نتعلم بقى نعرفها يعني. Between water molecules there are hydrogen bond. ايه بقى الهيدروجين bond دي؟ We have hydrogen bond. What is hydrogen bond? As you see here in this graph, we have, this is one molecule. Let's see this one in the middle. This is a molecule. It's O and the 2H. We have another molecule, this one at the right side. It's O and the 2H. But as we have in the first molecule, the first one, we have a slightly positive charge in the hydrogen atom. This positive charge is attracted to the other negative charge in the oxygen molecule in the other one. يعني I have two different molecules in this case. I'm not talking about a bond in a molecule. لا, احنا بنتكلم على bond between molecules, different molecules. The water as a substance consists of molecules. فتعالوا نبص على different molecules. we have one molecule اللي هو أنا سميته number 1, وعندنا another molecule هنسميه مثلا number 2. نقول عليه number 2. Molecule number 2. Okay? So, in molecule number 1, we have hydrogen atom. This hydrogen atom is attracted to the oxygen in the other molecule, in molecule number 2. Why they are attracted to each other? Because hydrogen here is positive in charge, and the other molecule, the oxygen in the other molecule, has negative charge, so they are attracted to each other. Positive is attracted to negative. فعشان كده دي سميناها another type of bonds, which is hydrogen bond. Let's add this hydrogen bond to your knowledge of bonds in general. انتوا كده يبقوا درستوا 3 types of bonds. خدنا الايونيك بوند السنة اللي فاتت، خدنا الكوفالنت بوند برضو السنة اللي فاتت. الجديد السنة دي بالنسبة لنا hydrogen bond. والwater as a substance contains 2 types of bonds. عند المولكيول الواحد covalent bond, وbetween different molecules it has hydrogen bond. يبقى الwater a special substance عندها both of hydrogen and covalent bond. عندها الاثنين hydrogen bond and covalent bond. Where can we find this and where we can find that? الcovalent في one molecule between O, H and H. O والH والH دول كده بينهم covalent bond. لكن between one molecule and the other molecule, we have hydrogen bond. And this is very famous and important point in water in general. النقطة دي مهمة جدا ناخد بالنا منها. The type of bonds in water as a substance. But I need you to know that hydrogen bond is weaker than covalent bond. وعشان كده بيقول عليها ايه؟ It's a weak electrostatic attraction between molecules of some polar compounds because it's just due to charges. فهي بس لأنها يعني related to charge. عارفين دي زي عاملة زي if you rub a plastic ruler. لو جبنا البلاستيك رولر بتاعتنا كده وعملنا لها rubbing للهير بتاعنا أو عملنا لها rubbing ل piece of wool، حتة كده piece of wool يعني صوف، عملنا له rubbing للبلاستيك بتاعنا، بنلاقي إنه البلاستيك رولر دي may attract pieces of paper. كنا بنلعب اللعبة دي زمان واحنا صغيرين في primary 4. ده كده electrostatic attraction. الهيدروجين بوند ده same، هي electrostatic attraction ما بين حد positive وحد negative. Which is positive which is negative؟ الpositive hydrogen in a molecule. طيب وفين النيجاتيف؟ it's الأكسجين in another molecule، ده اللي بيبقى negative. فعشان كده هم attracted to each other. فتاني definition of hydrogen bond ده مهم اخد بالي منه. hydrogen bond is a weak electrostatic attraction between molecules of some polar compounds. زي ما احنا شايفين الانيميتد جراف ده بيوريني انه الwater as a substance we have the red balls دي represent الأكسجين والwhite balls represent الهيدروجين. فزي ما انتم شايفين الهيدروجين that's positive in charge is attracted to the oxygen that's negative in charge. والbond is represented by this yellow dot line. اليellow line ده اللي بيظهر ويختفي قدامنا ده هو ده كده الهيدروجين bond between different molecules due to the attraction between the positive and the negative poles in these molecules. Hydrogen bond, as we said, it's weaker than covalent bond, a little bit weaker, not strong. It's weaker than covalent. يعني if you compare which one is stronger, which one is weaker, you will find that the weaker one is hydrogen bond between the different or between molecules of water. إنما الcovalent bond دي a little bit stronger. والhydrogen bond دي هي responsible for abnormality of water. يعني بتخلي الووتر ليها behavior a little bit abnormal. يعني ايه abnormal؟ يعني احنا بنتعامل مع الووتر عادي وبنشربها ونستخدمها مش حاسين ان فيها حاجة abnormal. لا، ده اللي هندرسه في الدرس. هنفهم يعني ايه what do we mean by this statement ان الهيدروجين bond is responsible for the abnormal water properties. طيب قبل ما نبتدي ناخد بقى بقية properties of water والabnormality فين فيها، تعالوا نبتدي كده نفكر مع بعض في some questions about the part that we have taken today. Let's go. Now let's answer a few questions related to actually water as application for today's lesson and for some other lessons. الحقيقة عشان كده ايه نعمل يعني wrap up كده لكل اللي احنا اخدناه قبل كده كريفيجن يعني. Question number 1 is complete question. Between water molecules there are what bonds؟ طيب افتكر كده between water molecules بين المولكيولز different molecules what kind of bond do we have؟ molecules. This is a molecule. Here we have another molecule and another one. We have in this shape, by the way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 molecules. We have 5 molecules here. Huh? Between كل molecule and the other one, we have a. طيب, in a water molecule, one molecule inside one molecule, عندنا ايه؟ This is the question. This is very famous question. نرد نقول له ايه؟ Yes. Between water molecules we have hydrogen bond. This is hydrogen bond. شاور لكم عليها تاني. This is hydrogen bond. This is another hydrogen bond. And between أو in water molecule, المولكيول الواحد في الووتر عنده covalent bond. 2 covalent bond. تمام كده؟ This is famous question in this lesson. You have to identify the types of bonds in water as a substance. فين الهيدروجين بوند وفين ال covalent bond. One more question بيقول لي ايه؟ Choose. Water molecule is formed by combination of ايه؟ نقرا كده الاختيارات. 1 oxygen with 2 hydrogen ولا 2 oxygen with 1 hydrogen ولا 2 oxygen with 2 hydrogen ولا 1 oxygen ب 1 hydrogen. If you remember, this is very simple and easy question. Water, it's simply H2O. So we have 2H and 1O. So the correct answer will be the first one. 1 oxygen atom and 2 hydrogen atoms. Another question. Write the scientific term. It's a weak, something is a weak electrostatic attraction force between, أو that arises between the molecules of polar compounds. إيه هي ال weak electrostatic attraction force؟ ها لسه قايلينها؟ Yes, it's a hydrogen bond that arises between polar compounds. بالنسبة لنا هنا كانت في الwater arises between the water molecules. Here we have some equations. Let's practice writing some equations from the previous lesson. Complete. Space plus 2Ki. 2Ki means potassium iodide. Ki, it's potassium iodide, and this gives KBr, potassium bromide, plus what? طب as we have iodide as we have Br اللي هو bromide, this is for halogens. If you remember, تعالوا كده نكتب الارينج بتاعهم. ايه؟ فلورين, chlorine, bromine, and iodine. So which one can replace iodine? This is iodine. اهو iodine. وهنا كان عندي bromine. يبقى مين يقدر ياخد مكان الايودين؟ البرومين. يبقى I can write here what? تعالوا كده نشوف هنقدر نكتب ايه. Yes, it's bromine replaces the iodine. So iodine arises here and البرومين replaces it. فبقى عندي بدل ما هي Ki, it's KBr, potassium iodide. It becomes potassium bromide and the iodine released. The other one, what? Here plus chlorine gives sodium chloride. Sodium chloride. This is very simple. ها ايه اللي missing؟ ايه اللي عندي هنا كبرودكت مش موجود هنا كرياكتنت اكتبه؟ Yes, it's sodium. So the correct answer is 2Na. 2Na plus Cl2, it gives 2NaCl. This is how salt is formed. لما اتكلمنا على الهالوجينز وقلنا they are called halogen because they can form salt with some metals أو salt formations يعني. The last one هنا في equations عندي 2Na plus what? It gives 2NaOH plus what? طيب تفتكروا ايه؟ هنا I have a product which is OH. From where can we get this OH to combine مع ال Na؟ أحط هنا حاجة فيها OH so it can combine مع ال Na وتديني NaOH. Yes, good. It's water. So the answer 2Na plus 2H2O, it gives 2NaOH plus. Good. It's H. وقلنا إن ال H, this is a gas that rises up. This is why عملنا له arrow كده. وبنقول ان الهيدروجين ده may burn with pop sound لانه الرياكشن ده بيبقى very strong and it produces heat، فبالتالي ممكن الهيدروجين ده يعمل burning. This is example على equations. لو كل شويه كده ناخد some equations لان الولاد بيحسوا انها a little bit needs more practice، فلو كل شويه كده ناخد practice عليها مش هننساها وهنبقى شاطرين نكتب اي حاجه بسهوله. Now, a very old question من lesson كام؟ ده من lesson 3. Most alkali metals have what density than water؟ لما اتكلمنا عن الالكلاي ميتال قلنا عندهم ايه؟ يا ترى lower density than water ولا higher density than water ولا same density than water ولا no density اصلا؟ يا ترى هم ايه؟ قلنا most of them they have lower density than water، عشان كده هم they can float over water surface. قلنا ليثيوم وصوديوم وبوتاسيوم كانوا float over water surface، انما الرابيديوم والسيزيوم كانوا sink in water. ده السؤال اللي من lesson 1. بيقول لي the scientist whom، مين الساينتست اللي arranged the elements أو arranged the table according to the atomic number in an ascending order؟ ده كان مين؟ مين اللي عمل التيبل اللي هو based on this؟ احنا بقى اشتغلنا وجبنا المودرن periodic table. فاكرين اسمه؟ Yes, he was Moseley. طيب another question. When sodium reacts with water, what gas evolves؟ لسه عاملين عليها equation من شوية. ها مين الجاز اللي evolve after the reaction of sodium with water؟ hydrogen. Good. hydrogen evolves on the reaction of sodium with water لأنه الرياكشن بتاع الصوديوم مع الووتر يديني صوديوم هيدروكسيد and then hydrogen gas evolve. وبكده نبقى وصلنا لنهاية حلقتنا النهاردة. أتمنى تكونوا استفدتوا. اتكلمنا عن ال type of bonds in the water. إن شاء الله المرة الجاية هنتكلم عن إن البونز دي قد إيه هي affect الwater behavior، affect الستراكشر بتاعها، إن هي خلتها كده little bit الفيزيكال properties بتاعتها weird أو غريبة، خلتها إنها بتعمل حاجات كده عايزين نتعرف عليها. ترى الووتر بقى بتعمل إيه؟ next session إن شاء الله هنتكلم عن كده. أتمنى إنكم تكونوا استفدتوا، وأشوفكم بخير الحلقة اللي جاية. Thank you.